Larry Ridley here, CBS Sports HQ, and it just went final out in La. The Rams, a big-time win over the Denver Broncos, 51-14. The overhitting there, Russell Wilson, we'll talk to Ryan Wilson a little bit later, but Russell Wilson, dangerous, had a terrible game. 214 yards in the air, had a TD, but 3 picks, was sacked 7 times. Baker Mayfield completed 90% of his passes in the first half, finishes with 230 yards, a couple TDs. Cam Akers, first 100-yard game of the season. The Rams get the win, improved to 5-10 on the season, beating the Broncos in SoFi, 51-14. All right, let's go ahead and bring in my brother from another mother. There he is, Emory Hunt, CBS Sports NFL analyst. And Emory, you look at it, good win here for the Broncos, or for the Rams over the Broncos. Dangerous, Russell Wilson, not a very good game. We talked about it, just 3 interceptions today, was sacked 7 times. Talk about his afternoon and how bad of a performance was this for Dangerous. It's been a pretty difficult year, to say the least, coming over from the Seahawks.
Yeah, he looks like a completely different player. He just doesn't look right. You talk about bad decisions, holding on to the football extremely too long, taking ill-advised sacks, turning the ball over. These were things that were a staple of his success back in Seattle. Now he looks like those guys that we tend to talk about, that, hey, this team needs to look for a guy to come in next year to take his spot. Just completely flat, completely discombobulated, and put his defense in a bad situation from the start, and that defense really couldn't get their footing because of how bad Russell Wilson's play was all throughout the game.
Hey, Emory, how much confidence do you have in Russ, coming back and bouncing back? Had 2 interceptions in the first half. Rams scored touchdowns on both of those. Had an interception first possession of the third quarter here at SoFi against the Rams. What's your confidence level in Russ turning this thing around? Maybe not this year, maybe even looking ahead potentially to 2023.
Well, Larry, you know how these things go on the football field, man. They tend to snowball downhill. So you hope that he can come back, reset, recalibrate, and get back to playing like we thought he was going to play this year. And I think that's going to happen. Again, first year learning a new system, first year of the coaching staff learning him. I think all of these guys just got to hit a big reset and make sure to get on the same page, found some common ground, what works, what doesn't work, and get back on the right track. I think they can do it, but, man, it's hard. It's going to be a hard sell for the fans and for people to, totally dismiss what they just saw this season from Russell Wilson and from this coaching staff, to really have confidence going into 2023 that they're able to turn this thing around.
Well, you just talk about it, that dynamic there with the coaching staff. Hackett, I don't know if that marriage, it looks like an arranged marriage there. Hackett probably wanted Aaron Rodgers or somebody in a different system there. Look on the other side, Baker Mayfield. How about Baker, the former first-round pick there? 24 of 28, 230 yards, couple TDs. QB rating pretty high. Like I said, completed 90% of his passes in the first half there. Really starting to develop a nice little relationship with that guy right there, Higbee, the tight end. Looks like the greatest tight end in the history of the LA Rams. You look at the numbers there. How good was Baker today, and could this help him going into 2023 trying to get another job?
Hey, man, he's no Pete Houlihan, but all seriousness, all jokes aside, Baker Mayfield's doing exactly what you want to do in this situation. Hey, I got to do enough in these last few games to impress, to hopefully raise my profile, raise my stock in the offseason to grab another starting opportunity. And the way he's played the back end of this year, you're looking at, wow, well, what was going on in Carolina? Why wasn't he able to have success in Carolina? They have a lot of weapons for the Panthers, and he's coming to this situation where they're beat up on the perimeter. They don't really have their offensive line in place, and yet he has played solid football the last 3 outings. So for him, it's going great. You root for him. You want him to get back on the right track. And the way he's performing in these games, and hopefully he can continue the rest of the way, it bodes well for his chances in the offseason this upcoming winter. Yeah, definitely the best game of the year for Baker Mayfield. Sean McVay had some high praise for Baker, saying played fast and it was seeing the field very well. So good praise there for Sean McVay. Keep it with the Rams. You look in the backfield. How about Cam Akers? Over 100 yards today, had 3 touchdowns. This was his best performance statistically of the season. How much did he uplift this offense here and keep the pressure off Baker and got those guys off and running out there in SoFi? When you're the lead dog in the backfield and you know you're not going to be getting pulled off the field every other play to sub in another guy, you can now get a great feel for the defensive front. You can get a great feel for the flow of the defense, and you're able to make moves accordingly. And you're seeing the best of Cam Akers because, again, he is the lead dog in the backfield. Doesn't have to compete with Darrell Henderson, who's now off to another squad. This is the guy that we expected to see coming out of Florida State. So him performing well, you're starting to see that running back groove, that running back confidence. display itself out there on the field. So I'm glad for him because, again, it's all about getting those opportunities and knowing that you're the guy, and you don't have to worry about looking to the sideline after each and every play.
Yeah, first 100-yard game. His previous high was 65 yards, and like you said, doesn't have to look over his shoulder there, showing Sony Michel and some of these other backs out there in L.A. 2023 NFL Draft coming up, of course, next April. And you can see the number one pick currently right now. Texas got that win Christmas Eve in Nashville over the Titans. They're 2-12-1. Bears right there nipping at their heels. And then you look at these two teams that played today, the Broncos and the Rams. Do not have first-round picks. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, the Rams haven't had a first-round pick now 6 years running. You'll look at it, the Seahawks and the Lions replaced those two guys because of the quarterbacks, those veteran quarterbacks there going and being traded to those teams.
Do you want a sports network that delivers everything that matters about the game? The highlights, the picks, the instant analysis, no yelling, no fake debates, no politics. Hit the subscribe button and never miss a moment.